Good evening, beautiful souls, and welcome to the third of the third energy activation, well, Ascension Gateway, really.
It's beautiful to be here with you all.
Yeah,
it feels like we were only here, well, about a week ago.
Yeah,
I suppose it actually was.
Yeah, 22nd of the 2nd. Wow, what an activation. And I don't know how everybody's been handling the energy, but it's been, again, still like a roller coaster. I came out feeling amazing, and I was only just saying to Sharon a couple of days ago, I feel the best I've felt. I feel so whole. And then last night I didn't sleep barely a wink. 4 o'clock came. and then today's been like, just having to clear myself constantly and getting to the point where I was wondering, is it the third of the third needing to do this activation? So yeah, it'll be exciting to move through what we've got in store for you tonight.
Yeah, it's been really quick again, hasn't it? Like there seems like a franticness of just the energies at the moment. And for me, it's been a big reminder to focus some time to really go inside. Because, all of this is an illusion out here, and we can get sucked into this third dimension of drama and nonsense and all this other crap that's going on. And
I guess some of it's gotten real too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But David's got epic lightning, thunder and rain.
Yeah, but there's still that reminder. The key part of us navigating all of this is to quieten our mind and to come into our sacred heart space. And for me, that's going to be a object for this weekend to do that. I was having a really good chat with a friend during the week that goes into those aspects of really quietening the mind and just sitting in a dark room, and just being. And really advise some time, make some time for yourself to really do that. Give you a great opportunity to connect with yourself and these energies without the distraction.
Yeah, and I remember you saying from that chat, just that reminder of the power is within. And then you really connected to that, didn't you? Yeah, we all really connected to that. And it was just a great reminder that the greatest power we have is within us, and that all this external distraction can get us forgetting that actually we need to go within. We need to find that solace and that balance within.
I've actually been finding too that, with your intention, really be absolute with your intention. That was quite a big one even this morning when I was doing my meditation and stuff. It's just really, what's my intention for today? Yeah, and really just hold that and ground it.
It's powerful. It's 100%. When it's said from within your sacred heart space, it's an absolute. It's an absolute. But we can forget just the power that we have as individuals and as starseeds. It's mind-boggling. It's just that faith and that trust that we do hold the key to this significant change. And many people are still asking, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? Well, when we start focusing on not all of this stuff out here and putting any energy into that, and we spoke about that on psychic development, don't get caught up in here at all. Don't wear any of that energy.
Actually, I had some good data about that. I'll just get Sharon to grab that.
Be quiet and go inside, and whether that means going to the beach or the forest, or just even being quiet for 5 minutes, and give yourself the time and get out of the old busy head.
Yeah, and just on that point, we had an amazing journey together on the 22nd of the 2nd, and everybody arrived up to 300 billion. And the key thing is that stability of your frequency. I say to all clients, yes, that's the top line, but it's the baseline that really has the growth in it, and that's the stabilizing platform. And a client and I this week were talking together about just how she was getting wobbled by the injustices of what was going on in Wellington, and she was very angry. And, we sat, and we're going to include part of the work we went through in the meditation tonight. And something that we looked at was, well, I wonder what the overall humanity population is now, because we got them up to 400,000. And then a lot's broken out in the media since. And so they drop back to minus 400 again. So this is why it's so important we all come together. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that we are coming together monthly just to keep bumping them back up. And interestingly, I asked from the spiritually awake beings on the planet, and I got this, that there's 14 million It was an interesting number. But they had dropped to 400,000. And that's why it's so important we all come together and push these high numbers like 300 million, because we're overall bringing that average up all the time. And you may have noticed that email I sent to you just about how powerful these group meditations are. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to reiterate, we are working in the quantum field. We're not just coming together as a group. Like there's many famous mass meditations where there might be 100,000 people in, in a famous place in India. They talk about that, but we can't undervalue what it is with even 30, 40, 50, 100 of us actually working in these higher dimensions in the quantum field. We are exponentially creating a massive ripple. And I just wanted to thank you all for showing up as you are, and to remind yourselves what huge souls that you are, that we may sit here orchestrating tonight, but you coming and being that presence and bringing forward your energy is really making this such a powerful event, and so powerful in service to humanity.
Absolutely.
You're right. And the key thing is that, in these places like India, and they've done the same in New York, where they do some transcendental meditation, they can drop the crime rates, and
they
it's
do.
been proven, and they do in that area with the number.
Yeah. And the Schumann's resonance goes up.
But when we're working in the quantum field and in the dimensions that we're playing in, like you see, we're affecting humanity by the work that we're doing. That's just the difference. It's not better than, it's just our intention is to do that. So there's a piece there too, like it's okay. Like I felt remorse for what went on in Wellington. Like it affected me yesterday. It did. And I could feel my energy, and I had a bit of a tear in my eye. But I didn't wear it. I could feel that, okay, it's affected my energy. Yes, I've put my attachment, or I've attached to it, but then I cleared it out of my field. So it doesn't mean that I'm still not empathetic and still don't agree 100% with what went on, but I then pruned myself to it, so I don't need to wear it. And that's so the important key. Yes, we can see what's going on, but it's then, oh, hang on, felt my energy drop. Didn't blip out my chakras, but then it was like I said to Anita, right, I need to just
felt your frequency go down.
I need to cut my cords to that and release it. And it's like, oh, right, you're back again.
Yeah. So with that, before the war that's going on in the media, the spiritual beings were actually at 2 million, and after that news came out in the media, dropped to 400,000. So that's a big drop. And it just shows that we need this focus on what are we focused upon? What is our vision? And I think the difficulty is with this new Earth timeline is we are in that energetic manifestation phase. And the more we put our focus on it, the faster it will manifest. And we all know the speed at which manifestation is occurring. It's so fast. So, yeah, it's just a great reminder, I think, with the events that have unfolded since the 22nd of the 2nd. And just to be gentle with yourself, because there is a massive purging going on and some big reactions. Like you noticed today, there was no one coming into the retail shop.
No, it's been very quiet all week, really. I just think people are just not wanting to be out and about, and just staying at home and
fearful.
It is. It's quite incredible how we can be drawn into these things, and that's why they release it, and it's why we don't watch the news. No. I tell a lie. I did watch it yesterday because I wanted to see how they polluted actually what was going on in Wellington compared to what they reported. But other than that, I don't watch it.
No,
it's not worth my time or effort or being drawn into something that we know is a load of lies.
Can I just say, from the perspective of non-attachment, though, you can observe these things, and it's a real good self-mastery to sit there and go, okay, I can observe it, but I don't have to attach to it, and actually observe yourself observing it. These are skills that we actually do need. We absolutely, they're imperative to understand the difference between non-attachment, attachment, clearing it. And Lorna's saying, so isolated by the floods in southwest Queensland. More isolation, more lockdown. And so again, finding that solace inside, finding that independence that comes from that connection, not just to your heart space, to your soul. And when you're really getting into this stage of understanding who you are as a soul, it's amazing how you just don't feel lonely. Are you finding that?
Yeah,
It's just this
absolutely.
newfound independent, self-sustaining energy that's so different to, I guess, those stages that we go through from learning grounding to then learning, oh dear, I need to get out of my head back into my heart, to then, oh, now I need to stay in my heart, and oh, now I'm staying in my heart and I'm grounded. What's next? Oh, okay, connecting to my soul and going even deeper. And I'm really seeing that with a lot of clients from today, especially, that they actually know who they are. They know what their past life entailed. And it's wonderful with Robert's channeling. You know, I can bring through confirmation, and then Robert can then do the deep dive into unpacking that so that there's more understanding of, well, what did I go through? What am I here for? How many lives did I have? So there's a lot of data at our fingertips, definitely, to understand who we are. So much mystical. How would you describe it? It's just been mind-blowing the last few months.
Magical.
Yeah.
Even in the last week, like I had a client earlier who has been affected from 4 lifetimes ago by mold showing up in his reality and growing up in a house that was moldy, reconfiguring and changing their house, and now there's mold in it again. He now runs a business for the decontamination of mold in Australia. And it came up from 4 lifetimes ago when he was in South America in the jungles there and was killed by mold in one of the ancient temples that we looked at.
Wow.
And he could feel the energy moving through him as we cut his cords to it that we do today in these past lives that we're still carrying forward, that sometimes unbeknown to us, and released it. And man, he felt it go. It was like incredible. We just pruned his whole cord to it. So now we can work on, now that we've severed that it's not showing up in his reality anymore. So incredibly powerful. And we'll be touching on that with everyone tonight in those aspects of that past life pruning and what you might be carrying there that is just hindering you or holding you back from really stepping into deeper aspects of who you are.
Who you are.
And also the
David.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fascinating, though, David. It's like how these things come up. And a friend of mine who's a clinical hypnotherapist was working with a client she told me about who died in a vat of tomatoes in, I think it was in Italy, where he was stamping on them. And she had an irrational fear of tomatoes or tomato ketchup or anything. It was crazy. Wow. And she fell over when she was standing on the vat of the tomatoes. She slipped, knocked her head and died and drowned in the vat of tomatoes. And she had carried that forward into this present lifetime. So even going to the supermarket, just even seeing tomatoes just brought her out in floods of tears, and it was just irrational. She had to just...
But again, a great signpost of something to dig into, something to excavate.
Right.
And then these things, I'm sure they're actually orchestrated in order that you do look into it, in order that you do go to someone to help you unpack that, so that a normal person who's having an experience like that is suddenly having a spiritual awakening because of that.
And we, it's hard when we have, I think there was nearly 100 people that have signed up for these energy activations. So it's hard to unpack those individually with you. So we'll just be clearing that. But as we do clear that, if you're seeing some images there or would like to go a bit more in depth in any of that, then we can do that one-on-one afterwards. Because when Anita and I were preparing this last weekend, the amount of past lives that were coming up for us when we were working with the Kundalini energy and moving it up through the chakras, making me go goosebumpy, was incredible. We didn't realize that these aspects of past lives are not just hidden in the chakras, but really at that deep level in these Kundalini channels, really at the core. It was fascinating, wasn't it?
It was. I've never yawned on a car trip to the point where I was crying, but just because of yawning so hard.
I had to stop and integrate it. I said to Anita, I can't do it
so
anymore.
Monica's saying painful left shoulder, so
just let it
interesting to see how you are after.
Yeah,
you were like spaced out.
It was like, this is big.
It's interesting how like with just people that come in, like I saw a lady yesterday and she was wearing a crystal, and so I just happened to say, she was wearing kunzite, and she said, I just feel really drawn to it. And she said, I see you're wearing crystals as well. And it just opens a channel. And if you see something like that, just start a conversation, because it transpired that she just feels very lost and she doesn't understand herself, and she doesn't know where she you know, and all of that sort of that. So, you know, these conversations are really important. I think that
you connect to someone.
connecting
People
and
will
just
be
kind of start with it.
finding that more, you know, as we've been delving into the Kundalini activations and how that relates to midlife crisis, they call it, but it's actually just a natural progression of Kundalini rising.
And actually, it might be a good time to bring Abigail in, because we're so lucky. Abigail Chesham, a dear friend and client, and amazing. Her passion,
surrogate daughter,
yes. But her passion for astrology has blown our mind. And you know, when I look at Abigail, I just see a soul, and this soul is big, you know, and she's incarnated at this time younger than us, but it doesn't make any difference that her soul is equally as old as my soul. It's just that she's chosen to come in a younger timeline. And so I'm absolutely, Robert and I have been just embracing Abigail and talking to her and saying, you're an astrologist. You're an astrologist, and follow your dream, follow your passion. And I saw all the books that she's got, and when we bring her on and she describes it, like, we're really encouraging anyone to connect with Abigail and have their astrology read, because the guidance, and I'll let Abigail talk about that. We might ask a couple of questions about it.
The guidance is incredible to help you navigate these times of what's a midlife crisis, but when we're coming into midlife, to navigate that through the astrology and your charts, which can really help keep you on track. It's incredible, the alignment.
Because what you were saying about the Kundalini rising being like a big spiritual awakening for people, it is all to do with your birth charts and the return of Jupiter and the return of Saturn, that this will actually, so then you can prepare for your Kundalini rising if you know when it is. And then it might actually surprise you. It's bang on with what's going on in your life. Like Robert and I, we sat talking about, well, actually, when did that happen for me? And we could say exactly it was happening in our divorces. We could see that it was happening in our spiritual awakening. It absolutely aligned to everything we were listening to about these astrological forces and the Kundalini rising. Yeah, it was really.
And it really, did you want to talk about the difference to men and women?
Yeah, we're a bit ripped off, ladies. Because when you think Kundalini, you think, but it turns out when females have Kundalini rising, it's to step into your power. So it's much more of a, oh, I'm lost. I need a new career. I need to create new friends. So for women, it's about stepping out of possibly being a mother and stepping it back into who she is with this new path that she wants to open. So she needs the power. So that's where the Kundalini and the creativity comes in. But for men, it's predictably sexual and possibly why divorces occur and affairs occur, because for men, it's actually not meant to be sexual. It's actually meant to lead them to opening up emotionally and opening up their heart. And so if handled very well for a man, it doesn't have to lead into that attracting, you know, disaster, or maybe not disaster, because maybe it's perfect if it does happen and that relationship ends and another one starts. So yeah, it's just all an unfoldment and this mystery that we find it to be. There's a lot more guidance than you imagine when you're feeling lost, if you know where to be pointed in the right direction. So I think now's the time to bring Abigail in.
That's the direction having your astrological chart.
Yeah. So would you like to come in, Abby?
Yeah, here I am.
So
what an intro. God, I didn't even pay you. That was amazing. I feel like I should now.
No.
I stole your hydro flask.
Oh, that's
See?
okay.
In case you're wondering who it was. And it's pumpkin, isn't it? Very good brag. But anyway, yeah, like it's not a lie at all that the energy is just absolutely feral at the moment. It's just it's insane. And we are experiencing, as we come into the equinox, just a massive change in energy. And at the moment there's 7 conjunctions. So what that means is that there are 7 relationships between planets where the planets are completely fused in energy. And yeah, we can see this in, let me just move you across the screen. Yes, we've got Mars conjunct Pluto, Venus conjunct Pluto, and Venus conjunct Mars. So there's that complete fusion. If we look at Venus being the feminine, Mars being the masculine, of that feminine and masculine energy, those archetypes, which is really interesting because you were just talking about the Kundalini energy and how that's really coming up recently. And so, yeah, there's Mars representing I am, it's that I am archetype, and then Venus, I love. And so we've got that real, that passion, yet that compassion. And combined with Pluto is just hammering us at the moment. It is in it's between the fact it's trining the North Node, it's returned to where in the place where America was formed. So for context, that basically means America has gone through one cycle of having Pluto go completely around the universe and return back to where it was when America was born. So we're seeing a lot of stuff going down there as well. It's just crazy. And so where do I even start on all this? So we've just had the new moon in Pisces, and that was, we probably all felt that to some extent. That's the regeneration, the ability to sit down and think of things we want to manifest for the new month ahead. And that was actually conjunct Pluto, which is Jupiter, which is that expansional energy, that devotional healing, that dream big, truth, freedom, love, angelic, blissful. It's really about opening up that Sagittarian energy and just seeing the world from a place where you can kind of sit back and observe it, but at the same time with that Piscean energy, really feel that spiritual connection to it as well, not just that intellectual perspective, which I think is just so needed at the moment. I don't know about you guys, but it's pretty hectic what's going on down there. So whilst that was happening, we also have this energy that's in a semi-square. So it's in a slight place of tension with that Mars, Venus, and Pluto conjunction happening in Capricorn. So whilst we have this very dreamlike spiritual awakening energy where our sun, our moon, Jupiter, and Neptune is lying, all these real fusions of our mental state, our emotional state, our spiritual state, we actually have this feminine and masculine and Plutonian energy that's really in Capricorn, calling us to come to a place of authority and to come to a place of stability and sustenance, where we can really lay down our foundation for what we want to see manifest. When this new moon comes in full moon comes in Virgo. And I should mention, by the way, that the Piscean new moon and the Virgo full moon that we just had is on that health axis. I don't think that'll surprise everyone, but that's going to be a theme coming through, health. So yeah, that's really come to a head. Yeah, does it make sense at the moment? Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Look, it's just wonderful to have you come in with your passion and your understanding of these things and just to distill it, because you can read these things. It's just being able to distill the information, and I think you're fabulous at that. You really are. And for your first time on here, well done, Abigail. Yeah, well,
thank you.
So I have just a question for you.
Sure.
When you offer readings, what is that first reading that people get, and what do you recommend for guidance?
Oh yeah, well I quite like doing just an overview reading. So that looks at the natal chart or the birth chart, which is the fundamentals of who you are. But that links in quite directly to places of tension in your life, which I find, because I used to be obsessed with taking personality tests. It was my go-to thing, in the back of bio class. But when I started doing astrology, I was fascinated by its accuracy, and not just the things I am, who I am, but where I find tension and where I find a lot of ease as well. So looking at those aspects in someone's chart is really important. And then you can go into the node, the North Node, which points to where you want to be heading in this lifetime. What's going to actually give you this feeling of fulfillment. It might be a little uneasy, but basically, yeah, where you will feel at your best when you settle in there, basically. And the housing structure as well, there's quite a bit to it. And it's a little bit improvised, I must be honest, and catered to the person. But I love making it more of a conversation when I do readings, so people can feel like they can ask about things that matter to them and talk about certain aspects. So that first reading would be something along those lines. Yeah.
Fantastic. No, that's just great. Thank you. I mean, I know that you gave me my reading and I've got to go back because that was when you really were jumping into it. And I really come to realise how important these readings are from our natal charts to help us to create a pathway and build a road, because we're all uncharted territory. So thank you so much, Abigail. And if anyone is interested in connecting with Abigail, just send an email back and I'll put you in connection with Abigail, because you can see you're an amazing, like for your first time ever, just to reel all that out. Well done. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
They can also be used, the astrological charts, the Indians use them a lot for their arranged marriages. And I asked Barbara Goldsmith, quite a prominent astrologer, when I split up from my first wife. I then asked her, every time I was dating someone, it was like, okay, Barbara, I need another reading. Can you just tell me how aligned I am to this lady? She would go, no, it's not going to work. No. And the only one that she said, yes, it's going to work with was with Anita. And she said, yeah, that's the one.
Wow.
When she looked at our charts. And so it was amazing.
And she did a reading for us and she read the kids and it was so accurate. Like, it was amazing.
Yeah.
We got so much out of it. Yeah. And yet this is all information that's like your birth certificate's already done. It's just that you're not accessing it. So yeah, that's why I highly recommend connecting to Abigail, having a reading done.
I know, definitely. I mean, Abby has we had a little one the other night, and that, but yeah, so reconnecting back with you, Abby, to go a little bit more deeper.
Yeah, fantastic. And I just wanted to touch quickly on the threes. 3 is an amazing number that we often see ones and we see threes, whether it be 333 or 111, things like that. And it's really important to understand numerology, that there's a message when you see these numbers. And I just wanted to cover a couple of those things. That the number 3 spiritually reveals itself to you to completely comprehend the existence of divinity in your life. I love that. I thought, wow. And it's telling you that there's a transmission of spiritual messages. So, to keep your ear to the ground, if you're seeing those 3s, be still, go within, because there's a message waiting for you in your message bank, but you're too busy to receive it. Be ready to embrace those messages. And I love just reading a bit about the biblical meaning of 3, because it's really significant, because we all know this from childhood or going to church or having been in Catholic schools. And not that I'm bashing religion here, but I like the fact that the 3s are really prominent in this information. So it's a holy trinity, and always when you channel, you're always bringing through 3.
Yes, and a triad of 3.
Yeah, triad. That's right. Triad, triangle's very strong, your pyramid. Yeah, so and it says here that it represents the Holy Trinity that makes up 3 divine beings, God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. Jesus was placed on the cross in the 3rd hour of the day. While he was suffering on the cross, 3 hours of darkness signified the power he possessed, even in persecution. He died and was resurrected on the 3rd day. And I'm getting lots of tingles.
Yeah.
The number 3 heavily influenced the life and ministry of Christ. Only 3 disciples witnessed the transfiguration of Christ on Mount Hermon: Peter, John, and James. Only 3 people in the whole of the Bible were asked to, or allowed to, ask God for things: Jesus Christ, how do you say that? Ahaz, A-H-A-Z, Ahaz, and Solomon. So yeah, I just thought, wow, it just really reminds you how powerful that the number 3 is used spiritually, and definitely for angel messages. So look out for those 3s.
That was one part of the Bible they got wrong, though, didn't they? That was just to distract people, because whether you call it God or source or the creator,
I get what you're saying there. But I thought that was a nice little. Christ was 33 when he died. Thank you, Pauline.
Wow.
Wow.
Mm.
Gosh. See that's just like those mysteries of the cosmos, and there's so many clues and messages in amongst numbers, astrology, dates, like what we're doing today. Yeah, okay.
But then also on the physical, because Anita was reading me that earlier on over the phone, and then just afterwards, she sneezed 3 times.
I know.
Just out of nowhere. Yep.
And I've noticed sneezes are energy clearing. I've gone from yawns to sneezes now, and I love it because a sneeze gives you this really big tingle. So you know how we took the onesie suit off in the last activation? I use a sneeze now to rip off the onesie suit and clear it through. So have a go about that.
Yeah.
Now, the lovely Sharamia gave me this. We always get these beautiful quotes, but I thought this one was great just to finish off before we dive deep. So it was March 2nd, 6th, Venus and Mars conjunct Pluto, as Abigail just explained to us. It says here, we've arrived at the peak of the transformational process that began in November 2021. The cosmic lovers, Venus and Mars, merge with the Lord of the underworld, Pluto. And ain't that happening? At 27 degrees of Capricorn, March 3rd. So that's all happening right now. This is the week of the grand metamorphosis of the phoenix rising. Karma clearing is peaking, and it might feel incredibly intense for some purification through suffering. It is time of exposure and truth emerging, to be aware of mind games, manipulation, and gaslighting. Intense emotions and moods, triggers amplified tenfold, passions running very high, swinging between extreme anger, rage, and aggression. And I mean, you look at everything that's going on, it's in timing.
Everyone's just so angry too,
Yeah.
you know, like a lot of aggression.
Yeah. Where did it, aggression? So pessimism, depression, negativity, and heightened projections are highly possible this week. The collective energy is extremely heavy at the moment, and severe reactivity is present all around. As we're dealing with so much raw and primal emotions, acute presence and discernment is needed. Karmic, feminine, and masculine expressions are coming to the surface to play out as the collective is purging. We always have a choice, let ourselves be dragged back to our cycles of conflict and separation, or observe and consciously choose what is, God, it's so small, what to release, as it only leads to more pain and toxicity, and strong energy of rebirth is available if we're able to go within. I love this bit. If we're able to go within and shut down external noise, stay focused on your process, the new is emerging. Don't get distracted. Go within. Let's do that.
We just sighed at the same time because we were just clearing up
Sorry.
some energy that came from Pluto.
Oh, gosh, you got to be so careful what you say. She said the pea planet. Poor Abigail should be talking in code. Lovely. So let's just let everybody know just the lineup of activations now. So I'd just like to remind everyone, if you fall asleep, it's okay. Don't be hard on yourself. Oh, what was that? Let's just have a quick look. Pluto, Venus, and Mars are in harmonious energy trine with the North Node. The god of the underworld is calling us to grow. Oh, that is such a positive reframe.
It's fascinating too, because you'll find that the North Node is currently in Taurus, which is ruled by Venus, and the South Node by Mars in Scorpio. So you've got this, like, it is hardwired. These karmic patterns, what really is coming up, everyone's feeling that energy. It's that karma is just absolutely, it's never been more energetically charged than it is now. So yeah, that's where that's coming from. Thought I'd add that.
She's good.
You're amazing, Abby.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, no, she goes, stop.
So what are we doing here now? We are going to have an opening meditation with me, and we're going to leave that stuff that we've been talking about. We're going to leave it, and we're going to cut our cords to it. And then Robert is going to step in, Samporna, and would you like to just share a bit about what you're doing, and maybe show that picture before we get.
Yeah, it's interesting on these synchronistic days who shows up. And I was working with a client earlier, a very spiritual lady in Australia. Northern Territory, yeah. And she was talking to me about some unlocking with some distortions that she could see in her brain. And when I asked, do I need to clear mine, I got a yes. And I also got at the same time, this is some of the energies that we were having to deal with on Tuesday night at the psychic development. And when we unlocked that, and I unlocked mine, the release that I felt was massive. So we're going to be doing a little bit of piece of a clearing with everyone on the call and everyone in humanity too, to unlock them from that.
Do you want to show them the picture? Because when you use that word is called occiput. Occiput,
Yeah.
not octopus, occiput.
So there's an aspect of the brain where we unlock it. So that should all come up on everyone's screen.
And you felt it was in that little wavy V?
Yeah.
Between the occiput.
Just in the little wavy V, yeah, just down here under the occiput, just where we come down into that V. So that's where we'll be playing, just so you know where it is in the back of the head.
Because this is on there. So it's just where your head goes into
just where that little V is,
before it drops down.
So you haven't got to know how many centimeters it is from the bottom of your skull or anything, but just so you've got a rough idea where we're
probably quite close to the medulla, the back of
I
the
was
third
gonna
eye.
say, that's
Generally-
it's near the medulla.
It's generally just at that tip of the indent that most of us have in the back of the head.
Yeah, the tip of the indent.
Yeah.
So we'll be playing in there tonight to just remove that aspect that presented itself this week to us.
Yeah. So I will get you into the meditation, and then you'll hear me go quiet as Robert then comes in and clears the occiput. Sounds Egyptian. And then you're going to continue on to clear past life energy patterns, persecution, could be trauma. And you were just saying when you're in that deep state, you may notice a pain come up. Take notice of it. Or you may suddenly see a spear or a disc or something. Just take a notice of, as Robert's clearing, that you connect to the shape clearing or where it's clearing from, because using your consciousness is very, very powerful. And just trust that you do know what you're clearing, and you do know what you're feeling, and you do know where it's coming from. So then I will come back in and we will just really move together, because it's really important that we clear ourselves a lot of these things before collectively we actually connect our energy, whereas normally we often connect our energy and then do work, whereas tonight we're doing these individual clearings and then we'll connect our energy. And that's when then Robert will come back in and run through this activating your will and power through the solar plexus activation with Kundalini energy.
Perfect.
Oh, we didn't have a look at everyone's frequency, so I made a note to have a look. So let's have a look. Where is everyone sitting tonight? We're at 500,000, a million on average. So it looks like a million, 1.5, 2. Okay, so that's about where I said people had sort of dropped to. So let's have a look at what humanity's sitting at the moment. 100, minus 100, minus 200, minus 300. Minus 400. Yeah, so they're still at that minus 400. I didn't have time when I had a look. So thank you all for coming and assisting. Right, okay. And then Sharon, there's no doubt Sharon will be working away off to the left.
The space for everyone out here. Yeah.
And do you want to just remind them about holding themselves?
Thank you.
Thank you. She does an amazing job of holding space.
No, that's right.
Dealing with a lot of stuff that's trying to come in.
So with holding the space too, is just really set the intention that you're in the billionth, 111 billionth one recurring.
It's a mouthful.
Dimension. And so when you're running through the meditations and the clearing and that, so if you just even now just take a breath and just really focus your intention on being in the 111 billionth one recurring dimension, and I set the intention to hold that space.
And do you normally put a time frame in? I'm going to be there now. I'm going to be there all night when I sleep. I'm going to be there when I wake up.
I just set the intention that that's where I am.
Boom.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's absolute.
And really that's the energy behind it.
It is the energy behind it, but as I said, the intention is powerful. You can either say it out loud if you feel it's stronger for you, or you can just
Deborah's yawning in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting knocked in the head. I just need to see something coming in like,
You immediately say no, bugger off.
right, no, bugger off. Instead of ow.
Yeah.
Robert's a gun at that. I do the ow thing and then it's already in.
So now that you've set the intention that you're in the 111 billion dimension, one recurring, is make sure your phones are off, and then you can take your house and everybody else in the house and place them up in that dimension as well, so that when Anita starts her meditation, you're
You can
ready.
feel a shift from it when you're doing that.
And just hold that intention that you're up there.
And if you have a yawn, that's because I put my attention back on it. My intention.
You can just take a deep breath in and just release anything. Just release anything that you feel that you've attached to today. Send it up to the 111 billion clearing portal and just release. You can just set that intention that I am in my sacred heart space in the 111 billion dimension, one recurring. And then we'll leave it over to Anita.
Thank you. Setting the space. Love it. Just let Robert's just typing an answer, which you'll all see because it.
Yeah,
Linda's asked.
I'll explain. It's probably easier. Linda asked a question. When we're clearing now, should we always say 101? It's 111 billion one recurring dimension when we're clearing. Typically, like the billionth dimension clears 95% of everything, maybe 99%. It's just with some of these activations and the work we're doing, we go up into that higher dimension, 111 billion one recurring. So just, feel into which one works for you, where you need to be. Generally, I'm clearing in the 111 billion, but I'm doing a lot of work on the global planet. If we're just clearing ourselves, the billionth dimension will do it, and it rolls off the tongue easier. So is it faster up there? It depends on what you're doing. If we're clearing the planet, like I was working with all the people in Canberra and all the people in Wellington, clearing some things off of them again earlier, I do that in 111 because it is a bit quicker. But if I'm just clearing one person, then the billion's fine. So it's horses for courses, really. It just depends on what you're doing. Here we're working in 111 billion because there's some quite deep activations that we're doing tonight and with Anita, and when we're clearing past lives and when we're removing some of these things, because we're doing it for humanity, that's why we're going to be up in the 111. If we were just doing it more on a lesser level, then we can do it in the billions. So yeah,
thank you for that clarity.
If things aren't clearing in the billion like they normally do, then go up to the 111 billion to do it.
Yeah, that's it, Pauline.
If you prefer just to go up to the 111 billion one recurring, then do your work from there. It's a very powerful dimension. So when we first started playing with this, I was asked not to share it with everyone because you need to be very careful about what you're doing. If you're clearing yourself, do it. With me helping out everyone that went to Canberra and everyone that went to Wellington, I asked, are you absolutely sure I have permission to do this work 3 times? Then I do it. So, just be, and I reiterate that in the psychic development, just be careful that you're tuning in on what you're doing, and we don't start meddling doing things, because you know, you can't underestimate the power of what we do. When you see that we shift humanity from minus 400, and they're no doubt be around 400,000 or 500,000 in frequency, it's profoundly powerful. So
Yeah, absolutely.
we just leave it now. Yeah. We don't want to meddle.
No.
Okay, so just now's the
Okay.
time just to get yourselves comfy as I just have a quick drink.
Slide over. You okay?
Yes, and you did talk about sound. Yeah, I do need it. I was trying to in the background do it, but yeah, if you can keep an eye.
Yeah. Did you want...
You talked about sound octaves. Is that something you'll just let me know about in your
I'll give you
meditation? Yeah. So I just want to do a little sound check, because sometimes you know, I've got all these amazing sound instruments, but sometimes it doesn't come through. So I'll just get Abby, you're right there. Can you just give me a feedback on whether or not this is something you can hear?
Honestly, not really.
No. Okay, so we're better off just to go with a dong dong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ding a dong, don't want our sacred geometry to fall down.
No.
That's
No. So we'll just get a sound check on that. Can you hear?
No. It doesn't pick up on the whole sound. It just
No, so that's okay. So if I do it, it's because I know it goes dead, says Pauline. Okay, that's just great to know. So if Robert does want me to do it from the perspective of sending something through, you may actually hear that happening, but I just thought, oh, we've got someone coming in.
Sure.
But I think even if you do it here in the room, though, Anita, the frequency, they're still going to feel that, that frequency.
Yeah, you'll feel the frequency. That's right.
The frequency of it.
Sharon said. I'll hold it away from the microphone. Okay, well, when I do it, I will. I'll just do it more in the room. I'm too keen to blast you with it.
It's incredible.
We'll be sending it out to you.
Okay, so we're going to have quite a different journey on this first one, but it's a very good life coaching tool that we're going to bring in. And where do I put it? Just down here or over here? Oh, and I just want to show you something. The lovely Savannah, she's probably on the call. I've stolen her and Dara. I wanted to show you this. I'll do it in the, no, you said, can you see the bubbles in this beautiful crystal? And Sharon and I are very taken by it because it's 12 bubbles, and we really feel there's a connection to the seraphim. Well, we know there is, and it's like a little heavenly realm in there. So I just wanted to show you this beautiful violet color, because I'm sure it'll come into our meditation tonight at some point. And yeah, it's like a real little labyrinth in that crystal when you get it at the right angle. It's like a portal, and yeah, it's like a stairway actually when we were really looking at it. So thank you, Savannah. I will give it back to you, I promise.
Sorry, Anita, I'm just getting the energy that's coming through for you for your meditation. If they can just connect to that energy through the crystal.
Okay.
Because that's going to draw through on your meditation.
Right. So did everyone get that? So connect to me through this crystal. Just imagine I am this crystal. I'm matching. I'm wearing the lilac-y. Yeah, I love this color. Violet, beautiful. Right. So just shutting down your eyes. Take a big breath in and just connect to your sacred heart space. And just saying those words to take us into that space. I am in my sacred heart space. I am in the 111 billion, one recurring dimension. I am the creator in the 111 billion, one recurring dimension. Just begin by using your imagination. And imagine we've all gathered on a busy street. We're really excited because we're going to the movies. We've chosen this beautiful old-fashioned movie theatre, and we're queuing out the front and we're connecting to each other. So excited to be in that like-minded company with a common cause. And we begin filing into this beautiful old cinema, very oldly worldly, old velvet-coloured seats. And as we go in, the whole cinema has been reserved for us. So we're sitting into that centre area. So just imagine as you're walking down, filing through, and moving to that seat where you'll sit down and the seat unfolds as you sit down. And it's got those beautiful draping curtains across a stage, a very beautiful stage with those royalty side boxes up to the left and the right. You're really taking in that beautiful roof with all that detail and plasterwork. It's grand. And then all of a sudden, we notice there's a countdown on the screen, like an old-fashioned movie, counting down. And it gets down to 3, 2, 1, and the screen is being lit up. But what you notice is there's 2 very different views that you're seeing on the screen. It's like the screen is split in half. And to the very left side of the screen, it's like a television screen. It's like a screen, a computer screen. And on the right is the same. And it's like someone doing a PowerPoint display. That on the left side, you suddenly see a tank. And then on the left side, you see a needle. And then you're noticing people looking sad and upset. And it doesn't take you long to realize you're being shown the chaos of the last few years. All that drama and distraction that we often get caught up with, feeling upset, feeling fearful, buying into it. And I want you to notice that there's nothing on the right screen yet. And that's because it's the new Earth timeline, that it's a blank slate. But there's plenty on the left to keep you busy. And we've been educated as we've grown up to watch dramas, violence, that this is in our normal Hollywood movies. And so I want you to really anchor yourself into this cinema seat. That when you notice all this distraction and drama going on, whether it be in social media, your television screen, the newspaper, and the most insidious one is the friend. So maybe put your friend's face up on the screen that loves to talk about this drama. They've got nothing else to talk about. And they're a part of that drama. They're a part of this illusion. And this illusion is designed to distract you. And the worst part about this illusion is that even if you think you're observing, if you are getting emotional, you are in that screen. So it's very important not just to observe, but to see how you feel. And as Robert said, yes, you can feel it, but you need to cut your cords from it. So imagine if you've had a day of being in that screen, that you're just pulling yourself back into the seat, so that you're calling back your soul. Creator, please retrieve all aspects of my soul from that illusion and drama. And please clear it and send it through the 111 billionth one recurring dimension clearing portal, never to return. And I wish to bring back those aspects of my soul for my highest and greatest good. And so let's sit there for a moment and ponder that blank screen, because that's how we feel at the moment, a blank canvas. Who am I? What can I do to help? What's this new Earth timeline all about? And we're starting to see some things popping onto that screen. World peace, Well, that's been brandied around for a long time. Community, we're seeing that happening. It's being forced upon us. So maybe what's going on the left is actually creating some very good changes on the right. And that's how trauma works. It awakens and it rebirths us. There's some more things popping up on that right-hand screen. Natural health, no more poverty, shelter for all, tribal connection, family unity, new education system, clean environment, safe, calm, connected. And so now you're seeing that the contrast is there. What do you connect to? You've got to be very discerning with your choice, because if there is one common theme, there is an impatience about when will it get better or when will it end. But that means you're in the left screen. If you're impatient, you are not manifesting the new earth timeline. And so we have to learn that lesson of letting go and being present and being manifestors, creating. How do we create? Because we've got this blank canvas. Who am I? So imagine there's a big hand coming out of the cinema screen handing you a magic wand. And that magic wand comes with no conditions, no rules. You are limitless. So I want you to just sit there with your magic wand and add a few more things to that screen on the right. What are you going to create? What do you wish for? What are you manifesting? And instead of thinking, now begin seeing. So how about we just allow that screen to just be wiped clear and it's a blank canvas again. So where do you see yourself? Perhaps let's go forward 5 years. You've got the magic wand. Create your dream. Put your dream on the screen. Your personal dream. Because world peace is a big concept and we are working with that energetically. But my own personal dream and my own self-development is the greatest gift to the cosmos. So I just work on me. And that will create the new earth timeline. That simplicity. What can I control? What can't I control? I'm just going to let go of that. And I'm going to really change my focus and focus on this blank canvas and create and fill it in. And now as you sit there with that magic wand, I want you to take that magic wand with you. Take it to bed. Put it on the bedside table. Maybe you need to make one. And remind yourself you're limitless. You're infinite. And there's someone I'd like you to meet. And as you're sitting there in anticipation, that screen is blank again. And all of a sudden, there's someone walking from the right side of the screen across the screen, and they're turning and they're looking at you. And it's you. You're wondering why you're looking at yourself. And that aspect of you in that screen is your soul. Today's the day you meet your soul. If you were adopted and you didn't know your parents, and suddenly you did, and there was an arranged meeting, how would you feel? Probably be nervous. You'd be fearing what they thought of you. You'd be wondering what to say. So just imagine, as you're looking at your soul, that you're introducing yourself and that you're honored to meet your soul. That you're so excited to know more about your soul. You want to know everything, their history, the ups, the downs, the trials and the tribulations. And more than anything, you want that soul with all that wisdom to tell you why you're here, what you're meant to be doing. And that's separation. That's the not knowing in the mind. The mind wants to know everything. It's very nosy. It wants to be assured. It wants to know at what time will I know this, and when will I know this, and how will I know this? So your soul hold out on you. Your higher self will block you until you learn the lesson of letting go of time, letting go of needing to know exact and precise details. Your higher self is waiting for you to live in your heart. And then the door will open when you know how to stay grounded and live in your heart. And those doors open every night in your dreams. Little signs and symbols and things that you're drawn to. Take notice of these things. That's your soul talking to you, guiding you. So it's time to be familiar, say hello, have respect, and ask. Ask from within your sacred heart, not your mind. And then when little tidbits come up, don't second guess yourself. Begin to say, I just know. Because you do. It's all inside of you. And I want you to imagine now, as you're seeing your soul on that screen, that it's like magic. It's like you're rising up out of that cinema seat. It's like you're floating up. You're now above the seat by a few feet. And you can feel yourself being drawn by your heart. And you're being drawn towards the screen. And you're not scared anymore. You're actually really excited. And you feel held and safe and curious. And as you drift into the screen, you don't even notice that now you're in the screen. And you don't even notice that you've merged with your soul, because you are merged. You just have to allow. And now it's time just to stay in that mergence and that emergence, because this is a time that your soul is emerging and you have to allow it, the chrysalis. And Robert's going to come and help clear the way and make that doorway between your heart and your soul so much more accessible. But you know what? You can do it anyway, with intent, with determination. Ask, know. Well done. Just stay quiet, stay in your deep state.
while each and every one of you is sitting beautifully serene within that aspect of consciousness, within the 111 billionth one recurring dimension, we have an opportunity to step at a deeper aspect, freeing ourselves from the binds of the third dimension, clearing the consciousness veil that's adhering us to aspects of the third dimension. As was pointed out to each and every one of you earlier, we're going to be working and accessing in that occiput aspect in the back of the head. Just feeling that sensation. Some may feel a slight tingling sensation or a change in temperature as we're just putting our attention in that space. There's a master key, that you have the key should you wish to detach yourself from these neural nets that are adhering, somewhat sticky in nature, like sticky tape to the third dimension. That master key is it can be turned with you in the 111 billionth one recurring dimension. You can deactivate the first and second tiers of this programming that some may feel as it's being released, somewhat de-glued from inside the aspects of your brain, as you will. It's like we're pulling away the glue and the tackiness that's holding it within the constructs of the brain. And we take your attention to your throat chakra at the front. Imagine, as you will, there's two screws. You've placed that master key in that occiput in the back of the head. That's it. And you may feel that these screws are unwinding like you've got an electric drill on them. Just pulling them out through your throat chakra. It's through that access of pulling these screws out. You may feel as they're being sucked up towards that clearing portal in the top left corner, that recycling gateway to remove any of these aspects of adherence to the third dimension. You may feel that these screws are just sucked up like a tornado. And with them now is coming these aspects of distortions that have been holding humanity and each and every one of us locked into aspects of the third dimension. Some may have a sense that they may be being released through your third eye or your crown chakra. It matters not. Normally their entry point is the way that they exit from the body. We're sending through some more energy to help us clear these. So deep within your sacred heart space, we can bring in the energy of the Lemurian seed crystal. We can bring in all that beautiful consciousness too, contained with the Atlantean Keepers of Light codes. We can draw in through our sacred heart space those beautiful 12 rays of creation. You may feel as that energy really starts to shift as we're working as a collective of one. That consciousness of the other illuminated star seeds and light workers and grid workers on the planet, and have also joined us in that 111 billion one recurring dimension. Some may feel as that's just snapped out of their reality. And as we turn our attention now to supporting humanity, and have been drawn up also into that 111 billionth one recurring dimension. We can send that intention too into their sacred heart spaces. Drawing in through their sacred heart spaces, that Lemurian seed crystal, the consciousness and light codes contained with the keepers of the Atlantean light code and the 12 rays of creation. You may feel that there is somewhat of a lightness that's bestowed us now from each and every one of us being in that 111 billionth one recurring dimension. There's some of that aspect as that's cleared. Let's all collectively as one draw that energy up from our sacred heart space, that flame of consciousness, and run it up through our psychic channels and kundalini channels, through the throat chakra, and moving all of that energy back through from the throat chakra out through the back of the throat chakra. It's like we're blasting out, like you would do with a power hose. Just cleaning out any fragments of old consciousness contained with any of these aspects of distortions. We can envelop our whole beings from the inside of our sacred heart space, utilizing that triad of power that we have created with the Lemurian seed crystal, the light codes brought forwards by the Atlantean keepers of light codes, the 12 rays of creation from the source and creator, as it fills every aspect of your physical and non-physical bodies. The distortion that isn't in alignment with this aspect of pure consciousness is just being sucked and drawn out through that 111 billionth one recurring dimension, never to return. Some may feel that there's a peace and stability. You may feel somewhat lighter in nature from this clearing. You may feel somewhat that your head feels clearer, like something's been removed. Knowing that these aspects, when we play in this most astounding dimension, the configuration of light and consciousness that we bring forward as a collective, working as a force of one, having our arm around humanity, our brothers and sisters, knowing that no one gets left behind on this evolutionary journey that we have signed up for at this time. We run some energy too that's enveloping our whole being and beings, those aspects of our bodies, filling up any of those aspects where we've just removed some of that dross and detritus, some of that space junk, intentionally filling that up with that beautiful consciousness now. Bringing ourselves into a deeper aspect of a multi-dimensional being, having an experience in the third dimension, but not of the third dimension. And know that this work and activation was successful. Ayah, assure Ayah, it is as it is. The aspect of Ayah, assure Ayah is the finishing point, the full stop after the work, the conclusion. While we're all in this beautiful place and state of consciousness, feel how light and airy you feel. the feeling sensations that you had from a few minutes ago of sitting on your seat. There may be a lightness in your body. We're going to be moving through these aspects of clearing any of these past lives that may be holding us back from fulfilling our dharma and our purpose in life. Clearing any of those aspects of forgetfulness on why we're here, what our purpose is. Clearing any aspects of fears or phobias, any aspects that may be hiding in these Kundalini channels that we will be activating shortly. So being within that beautiful 111 billionth one recurring dimension, we have an access and bridging point in through our sacred heart space. We're going to be accessing and playing through the 24th dimension, still being in the 111 billionth one recurring dimension, but we're going to be accessing the 24th dimension from here. So you may feel that there's an opening point from that connective point within your heart space as it opens up and builds a beautiful golden bridge for us to move through into the 24th dimension. Some may feel it like you're being birthed. You may feel like you're moving through an invisible wall into a different aspect that you are. Feel those sensations in your body or around you. You may feel slightly more compression around you like I do. It's not quite so light and airy playing in the 24th dimension. It's still the most beautiful dimension to play in. A combination of infinite pure consciousness, the 23rd dimension, infinite pure light, the 20th dimension, and infinite pure love, the 12th dimension. These three beautiful dimensions make up the 24th dimension. As we journey along this beautiful golden road, some may see it like it has a beautiful cobbled aspect, supported on both sides by some guardrails. Take note of that aspect of the all that is that's around us. You may have a sense of some stars twinkling. You may see some constellations and some planets. Some may be very familiar to you. Aspects that many of us have called home to these planets. As each and every one of us journey, and we're journeying with humanity too, there's many crossing this road at this time. We're presented by a bridge in front of us. We're going to slowly all walk over together. It's the bridge of remembrance. As we're going in to access our Galactic Akashic records. As we reach the crest of the bridge, we gently just take that lower side of the bridge back down onto that flat aspect, that beautiful golden road. As we come up closer, some may see that we're presented with this beautiful, massive, big vault door, like you would expect to see at Fort Knox. And on the left-hand side, we have beautiful Leanne, the keeper of the Galactic Akashic records. We're going to be journeying inside there to release and to help us remember these aspects of our past lives. Leanne, you may feel that connection within your sacred heart space. There's an acknowledgement from Leanne, making sure that each and every one of us, our intentions are clean and pure. There was a slight time delay as that consciousness ran through each of humanity that's joined us. You may notice or have a sense there of this beautiful vault door opening up, and we're all being showered by this most brilliant crystalline golden light that's coming out from the Galactic Akashic records. As that door opens up, we're presented by a secondary door, like you would expect to see in a prison or jail where we have those bars horizontally and vertically. It's like that door just slides back automatically. And as each and every one of us steps inside, we're again showered by that beautiful golden light. maintaining that aspect of accessing here from the 111 billionth one recurring dimension. Seeing your surroundings and where you are, that entry point is only for star seeds and light workers and humanity that live and operate, can work in and through and from that 24th dimension. As we step inside, your vault will open up automatically, a bit like a safety deposit box that you would expect to see where you keep your valuables within the bank. As that box draws out, it's like your finger is automatically drawn towards that individual box for yourself. The key appears like an energetic key that goes into the lock and opens it and lifts up the flap of the box. As you look inside and peer inside, you can see like a collage that you would expect to see in an old library where we had the library cards. All of these aspects of every single lifetime you've had. By accessing the Galactic Akashic records, it gives us a window into every lifetime you've had, whether it's a spiritual, human, animal, or galactic lifetime. There's an aspect there that some may see that there's a flickering of these cards, and the energy transfers and is drawn from the inside of your sacred heart space out. You may feel it's like there's a roller deck action occurring. Like we would expect to see in the old days when people had business cards on their desk and you're flicking from A to Z. These roller decks, as you may feel it from within your sacred heart space outwards, there's an aspect now of clearing any of these past lifetimes, these non-serving past lifetimes that may be holding each and every one of you back from fulfilling your dharma and your mission and purpose in life. Sharon's bringing forward these beautiful infinite number of 111 billion one recurring stellar gateways to collect up any of those past lives, any of those non-serving lifetimes, anything that isn't in the pure alignment of the consciousness contained within the 111 billionth one recurring dimension. You may feel that all of these many lifetimes that are non-serving for you, any aspects that's holding you back from fulfilling your mission or purpose, all being automatically sucked out and cleared through the recycling, through the portal, never to return. To your left, spinning within your sacred heart space, the most beautiful golden ring of consciousness. You may feel that there's a slight fluttering movement from within your sacred heart space as it starts to slow down. It's like there's an amalgamation now of these lifetimes. Some may feel that there is a clearing mechanism from the first to the third, or maybe to your throat chakra, or through all of your bodily chakras. If there were any images or sensations that you had from any past lifetimes that have flicked up, there's no need to attach to those at this moment, knowing that you can come back into this aspect at any time. Knowing that those non-serving aspects that may have been hiding in any of your vectors or any aspects of your Kundalini channels have been cleared. Knowing that individually you can look back at these if you wish. Some people do, some people are happy for these aspects to be cleared. You may feel from within your sacred heart space as that energy starts to envelop. It's a beautiful golden light that envelops your whole being from the inside of your sacred heart space out. It envelops not just your physical body, but all of your etheric bodies. In through to your soul body to make it far more accessible for you to access any of these past lifetimes that are serving for you at this time. You may astound yourself at, wow, where did that information come from? Where did that new knowledge come from? It's like you have it just at your fingertips to start asking your own intuition for your own truths, for any questions that you may have, knowing that the answer is given to you where the question is asked. You have far more intuitive powers, far more knowingness. Know that you can come back to this place or be guided back to look at any lifetimes, any lifetime you've ever had, any of the most applicable lifetimes that are going to serve you now. By looking within that realm of all of the lifetimes you've had and asking for the most applicable lifetime to come up. We shall view some of these at a later space and time. At the moment, we know that our time is concluded here, that we have released those aspects of those past lives. So on that command, you may feel that that lid that was opened up on your safety deposit box, as it starts to close back down. And you're drawn again to lock in your safety deposit box. And then they automatically levitate and find their home again in that massive wall of everybody's Galactic Akashic records. And then if you turn 180 degrees, you're faced back with the doorway as we step over that little lip in the containment of the Galactic Akashic records. And as each and every one of us steps outside, we're just awash coming over their back and over our shoulders of all of that beautiful golden crystalline light, keeping the Galactic Akashic records clean and pure. As the doors close across, we have that first barred door that automatically shuts as we're all outside. And then we have the big vault door swinging back around, and you may feel you need to take a step backwards. As that door's closing, there's just more aspects of that beautiful golden light just emanating out of the Galactic Akashic records, ensuring that no distortions are contained within there. We're just clearing that energy out of the Galactic Akashic records. Just asking Sharamir to put in an infinite number of 111 billionth one recurring stellar gateways. That's it. That's it. That's it. As the door shuts closed with all that beautiful golden light and consciousness coming out. Some may hear the clunkiness of the wheel turning and the locks engaging again. As we look to the right hand side, we see Leanne there. the keeper of the Galactic Akashic Records, nodding in acknowledgement for your success. There's a knowingness there of the capability that you have and the certainty of clearing those non-serving past lifetimes that may be holding you back. As we bid farewell to Leanne, we start meandering back along that beautiful golden road. Just ahead of us, we see the beautiful bridge of remembrance that we're going to start to climb up to the crest of the bridge and down the other side. As we meander along the road again, we see a light in the distance. It's that light back in through our sacred heart space. So we're navigating back from the 24th dimension. You may feel that there's a slight compression as you're moving back through. You may feel somewhat lighter again as you're now back in the 111 billionth one recurring dimension. You may feel that your body actually feels lighter from sitting on the chair. You may feel that there's more expansiveness around you. Some people feel that there's a change in colour, where we're back in the most beautiful crystalline white colour of the 111 billionth one recurring dimension. You may feel somewhat lighter too, like you've taken a few rocks out of your backpack. You may feel far more capable and certain of why you're here, and being able to step into the aspect of why. Congratulations, and give yourself a pat on the back and a rub on your shoulder for removing those non-serving aspects.
And just basking in that beautiful, glorious crystalline light, so bright and so white, in the 111 billionth one recurring dimension. And as you bask in that beautiful crystalline light, have a look around. Notice the floor that you're standing on is crystalline. And you notice there's all these footprints that are lighting up. Many, many footprints. And they're just in that standing position. And you're just drawn to go stand on that brighter white light. Just imagine as you place your feet into those footprints that just match your feet, that all of a sudden there's this feeling as you're standing there. It's as if you're having reflexology. You can feel the movement of energy right at the soles of your feet, massaging in a clockwise direction. You can feel it moving back to your heels. You can feel it creeping up your heels, moving back through the arch of your foot and the outside of your foot into the ball of your foot. You can feel that crystalline light pulsing into your big toes. Just wait while both feet receive that crystalline light. And just feeling that light moving into your second toes of both feet, the third toe, the fourth toe, and feel those little toes buzzing as well. And just invite the rising of this crystalline light that's pulsing and infinite, that wishes to come up through you and fill the void of any past life removed from within your beings, that you are filling the void with 111 billionth one recurring infinite crystalline light of the Creator. And just encourage that feeling coming up through your calves. Ooh, filling up your knees. Feel it moving in through your thighs. Oh, feel that moment it comes in contact with your perineum, your base chakra. Begin to turn your base chakra in a clockwise direction. It's a wonderful vacuum cleaner. And just begin to switch on your chakra system and allow that energy to fill that vertical column, connecting to your crown, and switch your crown chakra on so that you feel that vertical column spinning within you. And then connect to those horizontal chakras, the sacral, front and back, solar plexus, front and back, heart chakra, front and back, high heart, front and back, throat, front and back. And put some particular energy into that front and back of the throat where we remove so much. Just put your focus and intention. See if you can still sense that your feet are buzzing. That energy is still pushing up through you. Your base chakra is still spinning around. Your crown is still spinning. You need that central auger pumping in. That beautiful current of life force energy. And then allow it to move up through to your third eye. You may feel the need to push it out through the front, through the back. And now that you feel that that central system is whirring vertically and horizontally, allow that feeling of that crystalline light to begin to move from what you feel as your physical being through your etheric being, a layer around you. And now allow it to move in to your emotional body, filling in the void, filling in with crystalline light and that beautiful orange. And if you feel drawn to light yourself up like a rainbow as you connect to these different bodies associated with your chakras, feel the energy pulsing and moving into the next layer of your bodies through your solar plexus, into the mental body, the solar body. Feel that yellow glow. Connect to the crystalline yellow glow. And then feeling that beautiful green coming from your heart chakra, pushing out into your astral body, 360 degrees around, all permeating and penetrating because you are bringing this light in, refreshing yourself, replenishing yourself, removing. You've done that. So now you're just bringing in the new as you allow your throat chakra to push that energy out to your archetype body. Your third eye moves the energy out into your angelic body. Just feel yourself expanding out, 360 degrees around as the crown is filling up your etheric body. And it's still moving out into your monadic body. It's moving out into your ketateric body. It's moving out into your Christos body. Ooh, feel that nirvana bliss. It's moving out into your Buddha body. And it's moving out even further as you connect up through your celestial chakras into your hova bodies, your axiotonial lines. Your body knows what to do. You have all these bodies. Be expansive. You are the cosmos. Just feel yourself blending, becoming infinite, becoming just consciousness. And just connect to the consciousness of those beings around you, because we are all meshing and melding together as one. And just imagine that the floor that we're standing on, where all our footprints are, is in a big circle sphere. And that floor is beginning to spin. It's beginning to move in a clockwise direction. And just imagine now, it's like you're up a tower with a revolving restaurant that we're familiar with. And imagine you're moving to the window and that you wish to look out. And just feel yourselves moving into that circular motion. We're all moving in a clockwise direction. But there's someone standing to your left and right. And just connect to their hands. Imagine your left hand going over the top, your right hand going underneath. And just feel that energy now moving from your left hand through your sacred heart space, down your right arm and into your right hand and through that next being. And as soon as you do that, you can feel the energy already coming in from the left, across through your heart space, down to the right. Just feel that pulsing and flow. It's just pulsing and flowing with our intent. And we are peering down from our beautiful vantage point, and down below is our Gaia, Mother Earth. Just imagine ourselves all from this beautiful vantage point. That now is the time to just breathe into your heart space and to use this crystalline light from within. And imagine now that you're beginning to blast that light as we all bring that unification, that oneness that we share together. Imagine this beautiful circle that we stand on is now filling in as a column that is creating this towered effect, that we're not above, that we're not separate, but we watch this pulsing light finding its way down to beautiful Gaia. That we observe that column of oneness, unity, consciousness that we've created is finding its way to Gaia's crystalline grid. And we watch this beautiful white crystalline energy filter around our beloved Gaia. You may see it as the flower of life in this beautiful white crystalline light, or you may see it in rainbow. And just imagine you're looking back up from that viewpoint from crystalline Gaia up to that tower of us above. And just take yourself back up and place yourself back in that looking down position. And just imagine now you're using that photonic light from your sacred heart space in this collective unity, consciousness. Let us all send together the pulse of love. And just feel it with your heartbeat. And you may hear the cracks, confirming we're doing a great job. And hold your attention. I am in the 111 billionth, one recurring infinite dimension. And I am pulsing love, unified, infinite, unlimited. I am the cosmos. This floor is spinning with cosmic energy, connecting us to the heart of the universe, connecting us to cosmic energy. We are limitless. We just create that intent, open our hearts, unify our intention, and now let us pulse peace. And watch it showering down upon Gaia and humanity. What does peace look like as you shower down from your column of light? Has it got a color? Is it the words? And just see it again, showering that 12th dimensional crystalline grid with peace, love, unity, oneness. Now begin to feel that this floor is still spinning, but it's beginning to form into an orb. Feel it beginning to become a sphere. And just feel yourself as if you were in a beautiful sphere at a carnival, the gravitron, that now you need to turn around and put your back against this sphere. And again, reconnect our hands. And you may feel this sphere is drawing you up to the north point. And some of you may be drawn into the south or the east or the west. And those of us are holding up that connection. And imagine we're spreading our arms and our legs because we are being sucked into this gravitron force. And so you wish to spread your arms and legs to connect just like the flower of life. Within this sphere, we are holding this space. And just imagine now this sphere is beginning to fall gracefully, making its way down to beloved Gaia. That we are taking down a love bomb. That we are taking down this love bomb to Gaia, into the crystalline grid, into her etheric body. And just imagine that view, that you're seeing this massive, big, crystalline love bomb making its way down gracefully, orbiting down in a clockwise direction. And Mother Earth's arms are reaching out. She's reaching out. Her beautiful Schumann's residence, Schumann's field is like her loving heart, her pulse. She's opening up that portal to receive us in. And just feel as we're going in. Feel we're going in. And we're being drawn into her crystalline center. We're still holding that space. And as we come into her crystalline center, still spinning, being welcomed in, she is now joining her heart to ours. And feel an expansive energy as she pushes out the sphere, and she's pushing us out through her etheric body. She wishes us to join her on the outer part of her body as she pushes us through, and just see us morphing now out, holding a ginormous space with ginormous beings, still with our feet and toes and fingers connected as we link around this beautiful crystalline grid, infinite cosmic beings, limitless. And just tune in now to the rhythm of Gaia. How has the energy changed? What does the crystalline grid feel like when I'm a whole part of it? Do I feel electrified? What is my intent now that I'm here? Unity consciousness for one and for all. We are all one. And just holding that space as we move. The Samporna will move us gracefully to the place he wishes to take us next on this journey. That was beautiful. Well done.
So let's continue holding this beautiful aspect of consciousness that you're playing in. As we're working to open up the will and power centers of our Kundalini channels through the solar plexus activation, harnessing the infinite possibilities, the most explosive power that we have available to us in our Kundalini channels. seeing and knowing that each and every one of you is still fully anchored within your sacred heart space, within the 111 billionth one recurring dimension. You're feeling that aspect of consciousness and warmth that you feel within your sacred heart space. It's like there's a bubbling of energy and consciousness. You may feel that energy and consciousness as it's moving down your psychic channel, in your sacred heart space. It moves all the way down through your third chakra, your solar plexus. It's the energy, you may feel that warmth going down to your second chakra, your sacral chakra. Some may see or feel the color change. It's moved from the yellow, the solar plexus, into the beautiful orange color, the sacral chakra. So energy moves further down into your base chakra. And there's an illumination from each and every one of these lower chakras. Some may see or feel the opening effect of your base chakra in that beautiful ruby red color. There's an aspect there of energy that wants to flow down further into your tailbone. You may feel a tingling sensation, a warmth, an access there of that consciousness that you're bringing forwards to open and access these Kundalini channels. Within this access point, some may feel a beautiful expansion coming through from their sacred heart space. That access point of the beautiful Kundalini quartz crystal. A magnificent, pure aspect. Some may feel a tingling sensation and a full expansiveness of the energy contained within the Kundalini quartz crystal. There's a pulsating effect from your sacred heart space as it moves down through your third chakra and your second chakra, down into your first chakra, to the tailbone. There's an illumination of light as it continues down through your tailbone, as it connects down with your grounding rods that run down through the soles of your feet. That triad of that grounding energy that connects you into the 12th dimensional crystalline grid of Mother Earth, of Gaia. There's an aspect there of that energy that settles, for we all wish to grow exponentially in our consciousness and our psychic abilities. But to do so, we must be grounded. There's a connection that's taking place that Archangel Metatron has brought forwards from that aspect from within your sacred heart space. And anchoring through the neurological system, through your central nervous system, to allow your grounding to be far more effective. You may feel that there's a resurgence of energy in your base chakra, in the tip of your tailbone. There's an aspect like a pot's been boiling on the cooker. You've just released the lid and the steam wishes to start to rise. You may feel a tingling sensation as it starts to move up from your tailbone, illuminating upwards through your first chakra, through the vectors and gateways of your Kundalini channel. There's an explosion of the beautiful color codes of red, harnessing the consciousness contained within the first chakra, illuminating up through the first chakra to the second chakra. And there's a bridging point and change in color codes and energy as we're moving in through the sacral chakra, up through the spinal column and the vectors, cleaning out all of the vectors as we go. Some may feel that there's an energy that wishes to come out through your mouth, all within the 111 billionth one recurring dimension. Allowing any of that old energy that's been trapped, as if a pipework has been crimped at home on your garden hose. We're opening up that pipework now to allow the full expression of energy to 100% pure activation of your Kundalini channels. You may feel now as that energy wishes to move up from the second chakra to the third chakra. It's like an expansiveness now through that vector between the second and the third chakra, through your Kundalini channels in your spine. As that bridging point changes from the beautiful orange color codes to the yellow color codes, there's again another explosion of energy as it moves up. You may feel the energy moving up your third chakra, allowing that energy to again pass out through your mouth or your heart, any way that you feel it needs to be cleared. You may feel that there's a yawning sensation or a burping as the energy moves, a clearing sensation in your throat. There's a connectiveness of energy now from that beautiful Kundalini quartz crystal. The pulsation of energy, as you will, from your sacred heart space. A connection and bridging point from your sacred heart space back down to the third chakra, that access point in that vector that we've been playing with within the spinal column and the psychic channel. Some may feel that there's an illumination and a twisting effect if you feel the need to move your body. Some may feel that snaking effect of the Kundalini as it's rising. You may feel that there's a constriction from the third chakra in the spinal column. The energy, though, as it still circulates up through the spinal column, interweaving through the chakras, through the vectors, knowing that we will come back on the 4th of April to open up and align the other Kundalini vector points. You may feel then as that energy as it's snaking up through your spine, your sacred heart space, opening and running that energy up through your throat chakra, and your 4th and your 6th chakra, up into your 7th chakra, as it continues to snake up through all of your spiritual chakras and your galactic chakras. And that connection point that each and every one of us has with Source. Feeling that energy and that Kundalini energy is being contained within your physical and non-physical bodies, as if contained within that beautiful Kundalini quartz crystal that we've brought forward. We can run some energy back down from Source Creator, seeing ourselves as we play all within the 111 billionth one recurring dimension. Back down from Source Creator, back down through our galactic chakras, spiritual chakras, in through the crown chakra. As it's illuminating, coming back through, unifying within your sacred heart space. Moving all of that beautiful energy out in front of you and behind you, opening up all of your back chakras, 360 degrees all the way down, releasing any of that compression that you may feel in the back chakras, clearing any of that energy that's emanating from them out through the 111 billionth one recurring clearing portal. Filling up any of that space, that beautiful crystalline light, And those beautiful light codes brought forwards by the Atlantean keepers of light codes and the consciousness from source. Those beautiful replenishing, revitalizing, rejuvenating life force energies, activating, expanding, allowing for a deeper aspect of certainty and accomplishment. Feel accomplished in your work this evening. And a joyfulness, playfulness. A smile can be good at this time, with a happiness on how successful you were and how successful you've been tonight. Knowing that we can only do this right when we're guided in the light of Source Creator and in these aspects of consciousness that we play. We work as a force of one, a united force of one, looking out for each other, ensuring that each and every one of these activations has been fully activated to 100%. Ayah, Ashur, Ayah. It is as it is. Knowing that our work tonight is drawing to a close. And each and every one of us has been supporting humanity that joined us in the 111 billion one recurring dimension. As we've spoken about before, no one gets left behind in this magnificent awakening of humanity. The dawning of the new era is now, as we access these very potent energies contained within the 3-3 2022 activations, these beautiful astrological alignments, these doorways and bridging points to allow us to remember who we are accessible to us. So remember to take the time to be quiet, to find some time for yourself in nature, in those aspects where you align with yourself, where you truly connect with yourself. In those quiet times, to give yourself time to be quiet, time to be within. As many will know, it's been said that it's all an inside job, and it is. Knowing that home is where the heart is. Knowing that we're a spiritual family, united and working together. These activations that we're bringing forward is the new normal. Well done, everybody, on your journey in and accessing these deeper aspects of your Kundalini energy and clearing those aspects of those past lives.
It's time to prepare for our sleep space. So just breathing into your body vessel. And holding that dual intention. You're staying up there in the 111 billionth one recurring dimension. But preparing and looking down upon yourself from that vantage point, looking down upon yourself in this third density. Just imagine you're sending in the instruction to seal your chakras and celestial chakras, protecting them. Just feel that feeling as you send that intention down. And that it's time to contain your field as we went as big as we could imagine. So do this from within your sacred heart space, or if you're doing it in the 111 billionth one recurring, just be aware not to be down here and pull things in from outside of you. So just seeing yourself up there and holding the intention that you're creating a container, vessel for your auric field, your bodies. So just create a beautiful violet diamond within your sacred heart, made of the Andara crystal that you saw earlier. Just ask her to grow and open up there in the 111 billion, one recurring, that beautiful diamond vessel opening way up around your auric field, and just trust you know where that is. When you feel that you've containerized your aura, then just bring her back in, bringing your bodies and your auric field back in to containment. And just use your intuition. Do you wish to bring your aura into your skin because you're ready for sleep? And just bring it in where you sense is right for you. And just take a breath in and a breath out and ask the Creator for the rays of creation around you, around your containment vessel, and ask for the sixth ray of creation to give you that impenetrable shield. You may see it as a golden shield, and you can place that mirror-like effect on the outside to reflect all energy away from you. You can hold the intention that it's copper, a Faraday cage to protect you from electromagnetic fields that are not compatible. You wish to be protected. And also holding that intention that as I sleep tonight, I remain protected, I clear myself, that I can actually ask to do that in my sleep because I know how. Well done. And just feel those sensations within your body, those changes that you've made, the voids that you've filled with light, and the work that you've done, the ripple that you've sent through humanity, because tonight is an all-time high ripple. You are all collectively at 800 billion in frequency, and you have raised humanity to 4 million in frequency from minus 400. Well done. And if you feel you just wish to leave the call and go into your sleep space, then it's absolutely fine to just be. And we're just going to leave you tonight in this space because it's such an important space to cultivate, to stay within your heart space, stay within your soul space, and have a beautiful dream space tonight. And notice what you do dream, those symbols and signs and guidance that you receive. And we'll see you again for the solstice on the 21st of the 3rd. Thank you, Pauline. And it'd be lovely in the Facebook groups if you would wish tomorrow morning to send some feedback. But I think it's really important to hold this space now and not come back into chit chat, even though we love talking to you. Let's just hold this intention to hold it in place all night as a unified field. See ourselves in that column together in that sphere. And let's hold the intention of holding this energy, this unity consciousness for all of humanity while they sleep, while they go about their day with their feet on the crystalline grid, because they will upgrade and upload what we have created in the quantum field as a force of 1 to 9. Thank you, family of light. Blessings and love to you all. Good night.